I bruised my lemongrass and cut it in half while you were gone there. Next step is to add my tomato. And my sugar and my salt. So that's in there, cooking nicely. Now at this point, if you bought your shrimp fresh or frozen but whole, this is the point where you would get rid of all the nitty bits. You would get rid of all the nitty bits and you would just leave the tail on. We bought them frozen because it was cheaper. And the tails are still on, which is what the recipe calls for, so we're happy. So at this point, while you're waiting for all this to kind of coalesce, this is when you would devein your shrimp if you needed to devein your shrimp, but we don't need to devein our shrimp, so we're not going to devein our shrimp. Just in case that wasn't clear. Okay. So, we'll let that sit for just a minute or so. Once the stock was boiling, I went ahead and reduced heat to probably medium-low. So at this point, now that there's stuff in there, it's not even really simmering. Now the tomato I bought was giant, so it's actually a little bit bigger than what it needs to be. What?
Do I leave the stems?
Yeah, it's fine, because you don't actually eat them. It's just in there to color the sauce. Okay, so now we add the lemongrass. Which, like I said, I've bruised and halved. So that's why it looks like there's so much more than what there was originally. So that's in there. And then we also add our kaffir lime leaves. We add our galangal. We add our shallots. Boom. We add our coriander roots. In our case, our coriander stalks, and hope that that's enough. We add the green bird's eye chilies. Okay. Be sure that that's all kind of submerged in that hot broth. That's already starting to smell really good. Okay. So, let that simmer get that back up to a simmer, and then we're going to add the mushrooms. While we're actually waiting to do that, we can get the preparation bowl. You're going to need a large serving bowl, which I have right here. In that serving bowl, you're going to want your non-green bird's eye chilies or scuds that are bruised. We didn't have non-green, so I've got 3 green ones in there. Traditionally, you would get them red. You'd also have the lime juice, which I have right here. You would have the fish sauce, which is right here. You would have your pinch. There we go. chili powder and your cilantro. Get in there. Alright. And that can just kind of sit for a second and kind of stew about. That kind of smells good on its own, really. This is smelling really good. Perhaps I should not be nearly as scared as I was. I'm going to turn the heat up just a bit. Just because it's not really simmering at all at this point. Alright. So while this is sitting, the basic gist of the next step is, once this is simmering again, we're going to add the mushrooms. We're going to wait for the mushrooms to soften, be about 2 or 3 minutes, and then we're going to add the shrimp directly into the soup. Then when the shrimp are cooked, then we add all of that into the serving bowl that we just prepared, and then we eat immediately. That was Griffin sneezing. Oh yeah, the tamarind water. We searched all over for that.
Let's use it.
Yes.
God help.